Mass industrialization in developed countries is having its adverse effects on the environment. Excessive carbon dioxide emission is warming up the climate and melting ice in the polar caps, causing sea level increase. The frequency of storms, cyclones, high tides and other natural calamities have increased. Biodiversity is threatened. Sufferings of people have increased, especially for the poor. Climate change has its impact on the poor, as well as the industrialized countries. If swift measures are taken in developed countries, the people's sufferings can be reduced. But in poor countries, people are suffering already and must find their own way out. People continue their struggle for survival, combating all calamities. The concept of community-based adaptation stems from the initiatives to integrate and disseminate to the world the methods which will strengthen people across the globe fighting disasters due to climate change.
Climate change is one of the greatest threats that mankind faces in the 21st century. And adaptation is a way of trying to reduce the impact of these severe and intense events, which often manifests itself through extreme events such as cyclone, sea level rise, floods, fires, drought, and many of these complex systems. However, what we are trying to do here is to synthesize knowledge, develop network, understand the community practices better, from there take the knowledge across the world and also upscale the efforts that ordinary people are doing who are paying with their own lives, with their own non-existing little money they have. So we want to look at it as a scientific issue and coming out from there with solutions for upscaling and helping the communities to do better.
So community-based adaptation would be the organized efforts to build upon spontaneous adaptation in a conscious way with a view to the future.
The 5th International Conference on Community-Based Adaptation was held in Bangladesh from 24th to 31st March 2011. The conference was organized jointly by the Bangladesh Center for Advanced Studies and the International Institute for Environment and Development, with the support from the government of Bangladesh. In the year 2005, the first international conference on community-based adaptation was launched through a workshop in Bangladesh. Since then, the conference is taking place at regular intervals. Like every year, the conference saw over 300 participants from various government and non-government organizations, national and international policymakers, donor agencies, media, and scientists, and researchers from every part of the world.
What we have seen in this conference is both the interest and the experiences, practices around the world has tremendously increased. This year, we have found that the government of Bangladesh showed their serious interest to be part of this conference, we can share. This is an additional experience, an additional part of our success.
The conference was divided into 2 segments. In the first segment, the participants were divided into 8 groups and took part in a field visit in 8 disaster-prone districts of Bangladesh.
One of the things that we do in these meetings, which we did again this year, is to send people out to the villages to stay 2 nights and 3 days with vulnerable communities. We sent them out in 8 different batches to the north of the country to see some drought-prone areas, to the central parts of the country to see some flood-prone areas, and to the south to see some salinity-prone and cyclone-prone areas. They spent 2 nights in the villages with local NGOs, looking at what they're doing, learning about their problems, understanding them, and getting a reality check of the most vulnerable people on the planet.
There are about 172 participants, 162 from the international and all others are from the Bangladeshi. They visited the field. They went to field on 24th and 25th morning and come back at 27th.
I think it's been excellent the way in which the conference has also organized these field visits, where people have been able to go out and see the actual community-based adaptation in action.
Bangladesh stands as one of the most vulnerable countries to be affected by climate change. People here routinely face floods as well as massive storms like Ayla and Sidr. They have become used to these conditions and struggle. Gathering courage and knowledge, they are making the use of science and their own technology to survive in the struggle against natural disasters. By talking with the local people, the participants had the opportunity to learn about these efforts.
One of the key lessons I picked from the coastal city, the coastal town, is the whole community coming together as a committee, adaptation committee, and being able to discuss solutions on how to respond to the impact of climate change.